And this isn't about what you think the top tax rate should be. This isn't about, whether school lunch should be free for kids at the point of sale or whatever, right? This is beyond that. And there's just no comparison. There's no comparison between Trump and Biden.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soy Wonder David Pakman is back. Everybody loves David Pakman. Today he's going to be talking about the Joe Biden appearance on The View. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Welcome, everybody. We are very close to an election that will serve as an inflection point of such massive significance that I want to avoid the hyperbole, but struggle without using seemingly hyperbolic language to actually explain how high the stakes are this November. And the contrast in directions couldn't be more clear than on any random day, looking at what we're getting from either the Biden White House or the Harris-Walz campaign, and in contrast to that, seeing what we're getting from the Trump-Vance campaign. Earlier this week, we looked at, here's the speech Tim Walz gave, and on the same day, here's the speech Trump gave, or Vance gave. And the contrast, both superficially and on a deeper level, couldn't be more clear. We're going to do something similar today. Yesterday, Joe Biden appeared on The View. And yesterday, Donald Trump delivered another so-called economic policy speech. Put aside for a second that just because you call it a policy speech doesn't make it so if you just rant and rave and glitch. But we'll get to that in a moment. The contrast between these two men and their visions, as well as Kamala Harris's vision as a continuation of the Biden presidency, are so different not only on policy, but also on the intangibles. Here is Joe Biden on The View yesterday, humbly joking about his age and recognizing that he knows and everybody else knows he's making the right decision by saying, I did 4 years and now it's time for someone else. Take a listen to this.
President, it was only 2 months ago that you decided to step aside from seeking re-election, putting your country first above any personal ambition, and passing the torch to the vice. It's like having one of the Beatles at the table. And you passed the torch to Vice President Kamala Harris. What have these past 2 months felt like, and are you at peace with your decision?
Well, I am at peace with my decision. Look, when I ran for this last term, I said that I saw myself as a transition president. Yeah. Transitioning to a new generation of leadership. Now, I know I only look 40, but I'm 180 years old. I've been around forever. And but what happened was we were having so much success in getting things done that people thought we couldn't get done. Right. I found myself having used more time than I would have ordinarily to, pass that torch. But working with Kamala, she is bright, she is tough, she's honorable. And the thing I like about her, and one thing we share in common, is that we have an optimistic view of the future here. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing we can't do, and there really isn't. Anyway, but that's what happened, and so finally I decided that it was better, and I said I meant what I said. It was the greatest honor in the world sitting behind the Resolute desk as President of the United States, but I loved it, but it sounds corny, but I love my country more.
That's right. That's an incredible.
What's so remarkable about this isn't that this is necessarily that remarkable, but the contrast with Donald Trump. If you want someone who's going to tell you, I know more than everybody, I can figure everything out by myself, only I can solve these problems, no matter what's going on with me, I am obviously fit to do this and to do it for as long as I want to do it, that's Trump. The vision from Biden is, hey, you know what? I kind of got carried away. I was thinking of myself as transitional. I was doing stuff. I thought I'd keep going. And, it was shown to him, as he said, if it becomes known to me that I am not likely to win or that there's someone better suited, then I will step aside. And he did. And this isn't about what you think the top tax rate should be. This isn't about, whether school lunch should be free for kids at the point of sale or whatever, right? This is beyond that. And there's just no comparison. There's no comparison between Trump and Biden. Couple other clips from this.
It's so wild to me, this whole, a few months ago, like right just after that whole Trump Biden debate debacle, Biden was telling everyone he was planning on running again. So I don't know where this, I'm a transitional president. I mean, obviously, I think what he means is a transitional president from Trump to, Biden, and Biden was going to serve 8 years and then he's going to transition to another Democrat. But now he's saying it in a way like, well, I always saw myself as just a transitional. No, you didn't, dude. You wanted to stay in power. You did not want to give up. Joe Biden did not want to give up his power. That's why he was telling everybody that he was planning on running again. And then out of nowhere, on X, a statement was released, a written statement saying, oh, yeah, I'm dropping out. And it's so funny, too. The Democrats, this whole time, like up until he dropped out, up until the debate, was defending Biden, saying, oh, no, he's coherent. He's all there. No, it's really Trump that's not all there. It's really Trump. And then after that debate, then everyone was like, oh, no, you know what? Yeah, he's too old and he's probably not there and blah, blah, blah. And the right has been saying that Biden is on a decline ever since he first ran in 2020. Like ever since he ran in 2020, we've been saying he's on a decline. He's not all there. And it's gotten worse the last 4 years. And so now it finally now everyone is on the side of, yeah, Biden had to do what's right for this country.
That I want to look at. Let's take a listen to this.
Thank you to you as well, because, one of the things you promised when you came in, you said you were going to have an administration that looked like America. Yeah. Yes. And with so many other things, you delivered. You gave us a very diverse cabinet. You gave us the first black woman in the Supreme Court. Yeah. You gave us Kamala Harris, the first woman vice president. You gave us Becerra, Cardona, Mayorkas, Linda, Guzman, all the people, so thank you for that. And why? So like, in case people don't know, you're like a straight white guy. So why was representation so important to you?
Known for liking chocolate chip ice cream and Ray-Ban sunglasses. What the hell?
Why was representation so important to you?
Look, I think people our kids need to have aspirations. When they look and they see a woman president, they look and they see a Supreme Court justice, they look and they see the leaders being women, all those young girls.
If you're liking the video so far, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Who have aspirations go, God, I know it's going to sound corny, but when I remember when we moved from Scranton, Pennsylvania, which was an Irish Catholic neighborhood I lived in. It was not poor, but it was a middle-class neighborhood. We moved down to Delaware when coal died, and my dad didn't work in the mines, but he had lived in Delaware until he was a junior in high school. We moved back to Claymont, Delaware, and I moved into a community that didn't have many Catholics, and in the neighborhood we moved into. And I remember things like one of my friends, his sister, who was a lovely girl, asked me to go to her 9th day dance, and I didn't have any interest, but I said yes. And I remember him coming over and saying, Mom says she can't go because you're a Catholic. Oh. And I can remember when John Kennedy got elected president.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I know it sounds corny
First
now.
Catholic president.
But it meant something. I wasn't.
Imagine Trump being asked a similar question. Hey, you have some diversity in your cabinet. Why is that important? For Trump, everything's transactional, right? Why was representation important in your cabinet? Well, I wanted the votes from the blacks. Where's my African American?
What?
And these Jews, and there is a wholeheartedly genuine nature to, hey, when you see people that mirror your identity doing things, it inspires you in a way that, listen, I don't pick candidates based on identity, but I must recognize that seeing the first woman president, if indeed Kamala Harris wins, sends a really important message to so many who would look at who's been president and say, hey, half the country is women and we've never had a female president. How could that be? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. All right, one final clip.
Can you guys see how full of crap David Pakman is? Like, all my fellow right-wingers, like, you guys all see this, right? Like, how full, like, what? He says, oh, when Trump does it, it's transactional. The Democrats are all about pandering. That is why Biden is doing it, because he wants to pander. He wants this recognition of, oh, yeah, look at me. I hired this black woman. I hired this black woman and this whatever and this midget over here. Like, that's all they're doing is pandering. He even said that I'm going to hire a black woman for the Supreme Court judge. It's why you have Kamala Harris at first was all like, oh, I'm half black, and everyone was referring to her as a black woman, and then, she got called out, and now no one talks about that anymore. And that's why she still goes out there and she puts on these different accents whenever she gives speeches, because they are pandering. They are the party of pandering. And yes, Donald Trump has done that on occasion as well. I am not a fan of just choosing people based on their gender or based on their skin color, no matter who does it. I just think whoever is the best for the job should be hired. But no doubt about it, the Democrats are way worse than Donald Trump or the Republicans ever were.
From this, and here is Joe Biden sort of, I'll just play it for you.
Because Trump started his political campaign by calling Mexicans rapists. Remember that?
I sure do.
He still jokes about Paul Pelosi nearly being beaten to death. He thinks that's funny. Let's see what else. He hinted that the Second Amendment people could do something against Hillary Clinton. And he's calling for a televised military tribunal for Liz Cheney. These are his past statements and ideas. He's blamed now, but now he's blaming rhetoric from you, that you inspired these two assassination attempts. After all of the...
Sorry to interrupt again. I'm sorry. I know people get mad at that, but it upsets me when she's going on Spread This and they're like, oh yeah, but they're blaming you. When they all do that, they all spread these horrible things about Donald Trump, and then they act like they have no responsibility whatsoever. Where if it were the other way around, oh my God, if it were Donald Trump and then Biden, there's all these like assassination attempts on Biden, they would, without a doubt, no question about it, like almost demand that Donald Trump go on television and denounce everything that he said and take it all back.
Calls for violence, take them out, all the rest of it. You know what it is. Don't you think that that is just unbelievable? And what do you say to that?
Well, I think he is the most unusual president. No. Look, when I ran, I said I was running. One of the first major speeches I made was for Independence Hall about democracy. That democracy was at stake.
And to restore the soul of this country.
Yes.
The soul.
I ran for three reasons. I said I wanted to restore the soul of the country, meaning a sense of decency and honor.
Yep.
Secondly, I wanted to make the middle class grow, because when it grows, everybody does well. And thirdly, I wanted to bring the country back together. And I was told we couldn't do any of those things. But we've gotten a lot of them done. And look, Trump is...
Careful.
There's not a lot of social redeeming value there.
No, you think right.
Listen,
so brave.
If someone doesn't respect democracy and you point that out and you're told you are the one causing the problem, you are the one inciting violence, something has gone very, very backwards. So as we get to these sort of final appearances of Joe Biden's presidency and his political career, I'm thinking a lot about the contrast and what that means as we think about November.
Yes, you are inspiring hatred because you tell a lot of half-truths and also just straight-up lies. Lies that have been debunked. You guys still spread the lie about the good people on both sides, which has been debunked. Even Snopes has debunked this. Your trusted fact-checkers have debunked it. There's also video of him denouncing, saying, and I denounce the neo-Nazis. I condemn them wholeheartedly, and you guys never bring it up. You guys still continue to lie. That is why we say you guys are spreading hatred. And the thing is that, okay, so when people say, oh, Haitians, they're eating cats. Oh my God, you guys are spreading hatred against migrants. It's a lie. Haitians are amazing people. Oh, but then you guys could come out and say Donald Trump thinks neo-Nazis are great people. Like what? People who support David Pakman and all these Democrat propagandists. Like, how do you guys not see this? How do you guys not realize you've been brainwashed? Why is it okay when Democrats do it, but why is it not okay when Trump or MAGA does it? Leave me in the comments below. And my fellow right-wingers, if you agree with me, leave a comment below as well. Give this video a like. I'll see you guys later.